Hey there everyone, and welcome to Crappy Reviews, the home of No Rules Reviews. What's No Rules Reviews, you may ask? Well, it's whatever the hell I want it to be. Honestly, I don't adhere to any set professional standard. It's all raw, my own personal thoughts and opinions, and if you don't like it, don't watch. It's really simple, but there's always some moron who doesn't understand what optional content is. Today I'm reviewing Inside on the Xbox One. Now this is one of those indie from those developers that they brought you that critically acclaimed Limbo, so maybe you've heard of that. It came out on the Xbox 360. I think it was a timed exclusive on there, and then it came out on basically every platform you can think of. After that, needless to say, I played it. And I'll clarify that I wasn't a fan of Limbo at all, despite owning it on multiple platforms, Xbox One, Xbox 360, PS3. I just, I tried to enjoy it over at various points over the past 6 years or so, but I just somehow couldn't really get into it. Now, video games in black and white or as an art form kind of escape me, to be completely honest. Games with really ambiguous endings and stories that try to be more complicated than they need to be. I just find that line of thought for video games very confusing and boring. As for myself personally, and many of us, we just want to have some fun and game and, just kind of lose ourselves. And when they make things too complicated, it's definitely hard to do that. Now back to Inside, which is obviously a huge step up in terms of graphics over Limbo. Sort of matte colors. They're definitely better than the black and white, in my opinion, that Limbo had. Once again, they went for an artsy type of look with the characters and animations, but it works really well for Inside. I must admit, it's much easier in the eyes. The game runs very, very well. No frame rate issues, no game breaking bugs or anything like that. Just a really smooth performance all around. Now, the gameplay is pretty standard stuff. 2D side-scrolling puzzle platformers. Now, stop me if you've heard that before this generation. It seems like a lot of the people are putting out this type of games, or developers are putting out this kind of games, this generation, puzzle platformers, etc, etc. Not really my favorite type of game, but what are you going to do? Now, finding the collectibles needed for the achievements are pretty straightforward and simple, and if you want the secret ending to the game, you'll want to find all of them in a playthrough before you finish. But if you don't get them and you get the first ending, you can always go back and load up the previous chapters and do it that way as well, and just kind of find a guide or whatever after you've beaten the game. There's a lot of trial and error with the gameplay of Inside. Sometimes you don't know if you should just run away or stand still, and this leads to some pretty kick-ass death animations. The brutality of the game is pretty intense, but overall it's a quite simple premise. Now the story is the story is ambiguous. I don't really want to give it away here. I will say that it actually depends on what you think happens. For me, I thought one way, and then when you talk about it with your friends, they got something completely different out of the story. I will say that the eerie setting, the gruesome death scenes, the atmosphere itself, they all do a really wonderful job at immersing you in this world. It's definitely one of those games that makes you think. And you know what? It can be a little shocking at times, I'm not going to lie. But at the end of the day, Inside is getting a lot of hype for a reason. Will everyone love the game? Absolutely not. The ending could confuse some people. I think if you were a Limbo fan, this game might be for you. But even if you hated Limbo like I did, it still might be a game that you can enjoy. Definitely a worthwhile and interesting journey to take. Inside gets a solid 8 out of 10. Please remember to comment, rate, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Crapgamer out.